The following podcast has been recorded by LIM.
From taverns across Chicagoland to St. Joe's Park in Joliet to the world of podcasting, they're upholding the good name of Chet Gunderson and letting the old styles flow. They are the lovely, intoxicated men. And this is the Lovely Intoxicated Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of the Lovely Intoxicated Podcast. I am PX. Little did Tony Gabagool remember that I still have every single password to do whatever I need to do with our content. So I may be suspended from the LIM, but I still have a very vested interest in promoting professional wrestling all throughout the Chicagoland area. And today I wanted to use our platform to promote the next IPW show. Yes, you heard me correctly. IPW is coming back Sunday, April 27th for Spring Heat. And we're going to talk about it with our guests today. So joining me, I have Cash Money, Corey McHenry, IPW Alternative Champion, and Junior Heavyweight Champion Corey McHenry. And we're going to talk about your match this evening. Okay. Also joining me is the information liaison of Illiana Pro Wrestling, Mr. Rion Skills, the real deal himself. And in addition to that, Spring Heat, so everybody is aware, is a fundraiser for the Homer Heat baseball team. And today I'm also joined by a former professional wrestler, someone who I've had the opportunity to meet and talk with, and somebody who has a very close connection with the Homer Heat. Whiplash. Whiplash, how are you doing today, sir?
Oh, doing well, my man. How are you tonight?
Doing good, doing good. So let's talk about this. This is the second annual Homer Heat fundraiser that is partnering up with IPW. So when you're looking to raise funds for your baseball team, what made you decide to use IPW as your platform to do so?
Well, my way of thinking about it is due to the fact of the history that I have with wrestling, the history I have with Rion, and now that my life has taken a different change, now my life is focused on the kids, helping the kids grow, keeping the kids athletic, keeping the kids moving. What better way to help raise funds to help promote things for them, to help them get like special uniforms, swag things, tournaments, stuff like that, than to team up with something that I've done for so many years in my life, which is wrestling. And last year, getting the opportunity, like thrown at me that I was there just to promote the kids and ended up getting the match with Damian Gray, which was just a big event in my mind. It was actually one of my favorite matches I've had, just to show the fact that even though I am in a different line right now, I'm the coach, I'm a dad, but the fact that I was still able to keep up in the ring made me feel good to know that I was still able to do that and be out there to help the kids. So.
Now, not only did you appear and wrestle in last show, you also were flanked by the Chicago connection. You had PL Myers and Kingpin with you. So for our listeners and viewers who may not be as familiar with the connection, tell us a little bit about the connection.
Well, the connection has had such a long and storied history. There's been so many iterations of the connection, so many great competitors that have gone through, been in the connection, managed by either PL or Kingpin alongside of them. People like I mean, like Jay Phoenix and like Jared Priest and Michelle Morgan back in the day. So many great names that were in there and part of the connection. Oh, and it has such a long storied history that it still remains that if you mention Chicago Connection, there's a good chance people are going to know who they are. And PL was a big part of my career in PCW. He brought me to many Midwest titles and guided me through those times. So it was an honor to have him there with me one more time. Granted, he's not always been the fan favorite. Not everybody's always been a fan of PL, but he was always there for me during my career. So it was an honor to have him there last year with me.
So take us through this match with Damian Gray. How did that match come about, and what was the result of that match?
Well, mainly it came about because I was trying to introduce the kids, like let everyone meet the kids that I'm out there coaching, and he interrupted and brought up the fact that he used to see me wrestle, used to watch me, and it all came down to him then ended up tearing up a picture of me that he had from when I used to wrestle for BCW and tearing it up in the ring and we ended up the match got called. Rion was there to keep us separated for keep happening anything happening bad early on in the show, but he signed that well, actually not signed, but he gave us that unsanctioned match that because there was no they were washing their hands of it that it was uh, not to be held accountable for it. So, but it ended up going. I went the time limit with him. But I had him in that sharpshooter right at the end, and from what I remember seeing in the video, he was giving up there after the time bell after the time rang. So in my mind, I could have beat him, but I just didn't have enough time. I didn't get it done in time.
And at that point, if I remember correctly, he was the IPW league champion.
That he was. Yeah.
And actually, this is actually a perfect segue into this first match I want to talk about because it is part of the special attraction series. We have Damian Gray coming back for some spring heat, and he'll be taking on the information liaison, the real deal himself, Mr. Rion Skills. This is Damian Gray's first appearance in any wrestling capacity since the Idols were disbanded at Rocket Pro Wrestling. And but also it's not long after he lost that league championship to Jay Thunder. And as we've established, Rion is the information liaison of IPW and Cash Money Corey McHenry. I have you here, and
Okay.
are very
Okay.
much familiar with the information liaison.
Yes.
What does that role look like? What
What
does
Rion
a
does?
liaison do?
Uh, everything. Like, is that too vague? Like, Rion does everything. Everything. That's what it looks like. Everything.
He tries to hold down the fort.
Like, it's like you have to be a jack of all trades for everything. Like, and while doing it all at the same time. Like, that's what that looks like.
And I
Oh,
mean,
and wear headphones while you're doing it. You can't forget the headphones.
you
Can't
have to
forget
have
that.
the headphones. That's an essential accessory to be a successful information liaison. Now, hey, we are now experiencing Rion Vision here on the Lovely Intoxicated podcast. As the information liaison himself is driving somewhere. We don't know where he's headed.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that I am actively giving out information while driving. So just putting that out there. As soon as I get done driving, I will be able to chat with you more. My apologies ahead of time. Just keeping up with everything accordingly. Please continue with telling everybody what I do. Just please continue.
Now,
See? Everything.
he
See?
does all of the things.
See?
And this is actually going to be a very unique matchup because we're this IPW show is also taking place a little bit before Rocket Pro Wrestling kicks on 66. So there's a lot of interlap that's going to come into play here. Rion's going to be facing Damian Gray on Sunday And then on Saturday, he'll be facing Maximus Orion in a last man standing match. So he's got two big matches that he's going to need to prepare for. Gentlemen, when it comes to this special attraction, who do you think comes out on top here?
It's in the name, Rion Skills.
I gotta agree with that one. I've been in the ring many times with Rion, and he always gives it his all, and I know he's gonna take Damian Gray to the limit.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything from Damian Gray. I've
Oh,
been in there with him.
nope.
He's tough, but I mean, come on. The tribal liaison, always. Come on.
And I myself have been in the ring with Damian Gray,
You
so
beat him.
but I have to give him this. He is absolutely ruthless and will do whatever it takes to win.
Oh yeah.
And I know Rion will probably have some tricks up his sleeve to counteract some of that. And we'll come back to this match once Rion is done driving, because I do have some questions for
I was
him.
wondering where you were going to, like, how you were going to segue out of that. I was like, you put yourself in a corner. I was curious where you were going to go with that because I had made it very clear that I was driving and giving out information. So I was curious where you were going, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, if we have you here, um, how are you preparing for this match with Damian Gray?
You mean like actively right now, like
Uh,
at this very moment, or
He's
just as a
eating is
whole?
what he's doing.
in general.
Well, in general, the only thing I can do is continue to do what I've been doing, and that's train. I mean, Damian Gray is a former league champion. That's the big belt. That's the king of all kings, so to speak. And he defeated a lot of people to get to that. He just the tournament that he was in, as far as the aggression tournament, he was able to defeat multiple competitors to get a chance to wrestle both Flash Harris and Aaron Stone, the two previous uh, league champions before him. So he's a tough dude. It's just a matter of being able to keep up with just literally be able to keep up with him because he's been wrestling. I have not. So the only thing I can do is continue to train and make sure that the experience holds up because he's actively out in the streets. I am not. But it's also for the kids, so we'll see what happens.
And following this, the next match I want to talk about is for the IPW Trios Championship. We have the Reprisal taking on the team of Diesel Trax and Pizza and Beer. That would be Sean Danger and the Amazing Turtle. Diesel Trax and Pizza and Beer just teamed recently at Rocket Pro Wrestling Spring Break and are coming off of a loss to the Undeniable at RPW. Turtle did speak with them after their match and showed his focus on what's next for this team, despite his team being on the losing end at Rocket Pro. And for those who are unfamiliar with Reprisal are managed by Aaron, and the champion and part of the group, Gustavo, who has been seen on the IPW showcases, Coda Camille, as well as Aiden Way. Now, you also have to factor in Humek into this whole equation because Humek is aligned with the Reprisal. And we'll talk about Humek a little later. But the one thing that could come into play with this is Strict 9. Strict 9 was the former trainer of the Amazing Turtle and has been vicious and has assaulted Turtle all throughout the summer into the fall at IPW. But another thing that has to be considered here is Sean Danger, where Sean Danger's head is at. Sean Danger recently became the number one contender to Marcelo Spade's IPW Second City Championship. But to balance it all out, he's also a former IPW Tag Team Champion and held those titles with Diesel Tracks. Gentlemen, how do you see this match going?
Is this for everybody or just
This is
are
for
you just
everybody. This is for everybody.
I don't gotta go with tracks, pizza, and beer. Have to. Why would you ever go against Sean Danger?
You can't go against Sean
You've
Danger.
seen what he can do. Like, it's Sean Danger. Like you see it. He's already got chemistry with the track. They got how long were they champions? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They have the chemistry. Then you throw in Turtle with the experience against who are they going against? Gustavo, Coda, and who?
Coda and Aiden Way.
Oh, okay, exactly. See, of course we're going pizza and beer and tracks.
Whiplash, what say you?
I gotta side with them on that one. That's gonna be an excellent match. I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm gonna be trying to sit back and get an eyeful of that one.
Rion, how do you see this match playing out?
uh uh I am I'm not even sure why I'm here at this point. You got all the information in front of you. I'm not even sure why I am here to say it. Okay, so I as much as I want to say that I'm going to go with PB and J. That's what I'm calling them, by the way. I'm calling
Yeah,
them PB and J. I
that's
just want to
awesome.
make sure you know. Just so you know, it's pizza, beer, and Jack. I just want to make sure that you heard it here first. I just want to make
Okay,
sure that that's gonna stick.
I was
we gonna acknowledge
just
that.
about to ask you what the
PBJ,
J stood for.
PBJ.
I'm just letting you know that's what I'm calling. If you want to continue to move that forward, you go right ahead.
We using
Um,
that.
I just I just feel like, especially with Reprisal, uh, they are too chaotic. Uh, but the only way that their chaos runs is through Humac. If Humac is around, uh, then yeah, Reprisal will end up winning the match. There's no way around it. That's just kind of how it is. But if he is not there, if he is not focused on that, there's a very strong possibility that they could lose. Because as much as I want to say that Reprisal is really good as far as what they do, they normally work when someone else is telling them what to do. And as much as everyone will speak as far as Aaron and her managerial skills, as far as her being around for 2 decades, uh, the fact of the matter is she's following UMac. She's only doing the bidding of UMac. So it's just a matter of waiting to see how that plays out. If I had to choose, my heart is saying PB and J, and I'm gonna keep saying PB and J until it sticks.
It's stuck. It's there already.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you
okay, all
made
right.
event
There,
Steve
it's there.
stick, so I think PB and J is going to stick.
PB and J.
PB and J. That's what I'm going with too. I mean, these guys have experience teaming with each other, either at IPW or Rocket Pro, so they're very familiar with each other. They have the dynamic. They showed a lot of chemistry together despite a losing record against a losing effort against the Undeniable. So I have to give the edge to PB and J. And Whiplash is showing some pictures. Is this from PCW, Whiplash?
Oh yeah, that was against JTW back for the PCW heavyweight title.
And PCW, tell us a little bit about PCW for some of our listeners who might be unfamiliar with what that promotion was.
Well, unfortunately, PCW is no longer with us. Trying to think approximately how many years ago it left us, but it was one of the premier federations around Chicagoland area, like Chicago Ridge, Oak Lawn, all those areas around there. We ran like Summit, Midlothian, all those places. had brought in many big names through there that came through to either wrestle with us or come in for autograph signings. Everyone from like Ric Flair to Diamond Dallas Page to Roddy Piper and Sting. We brought in people from all over, and we always had some of the best talent out there. The guy in the match there, JTW, was one of the best guys in the ring. Rion, of course, was there as well. Loved having him there. We had amazing dream nights every year. That was kind of like our WrestleMania. And it was just always a great show. We always had really rowdy fans, really great fans that always that came out to all the shows, and it was an honor to work there. And through PCW is where I actually met my wife because she was the sister-in-law of Wally Wild, and I met her through PCW, and now because of PCW, I've met her and I have my kids, and now I'm done with wrestling, and now I'm a coach. So PCW led me to all my things that are where I'm at in life now. So
And obviously, and because I've done my research before we came on tonight, you've actually had a couple matches with Rion Skills in PCW.
yeah. We fought over the Midwest title many occasions, back and forth with that title. Been in like ladder matches together. So we've encountered each other a lot in the ring. And I've also had the honor of actually teaming with him as well because of course different times in your career things change. So had the honor of being on both sides of the ring with him. So.
And I know I could probably guess, and I'm going to ask Rion this. Rion, what was it like wrestling an opponent like Whiplash in PCW?
Difficult, very difficult. I mean, the man's name is Whiplash. How do you think it went at? Like, what do you think happened? Like, very difficult opponent. Uh, one of the best that's out there. Just, I mean, he's part of the Chicago Connection. They didn't just bring anybody into the fold. That was one of the top stables around. There's a lot of organizations that are trying to duplicate things that took place with PCW as well as the Chicago Connection. You can look at the trios match and see that for yourself as far as Reprisal and PB&J. Like it's just a lot of stuff that has been a lot of teams out there now, whether they realize it or not, are inadvertently replicating things that the Chicago Connection did as far as being able to split guys up and be able to team together as far as singles and tag go. Like they for a long time they were the standard.
It's very interesting to hear the history of Chicagoland professional wrestling from two people that lived it. And speaking of making history, we have a man in this call who is going to hope to make some history because the next match we're going to talk about is for both the junior heavyweight and alternative championship. We're going to have Cash Money Corey McHenry putting both his titles on the line against Nick Diamond and Muggsy James. Now, Corey, you won both championships by way of the medallion. There is a lot of history behind the medallion. So, Corey, for people who may not be as familiar with it, tell our listeners what exactly the medallion is.
Basically, it's our equivalent of a money in a bank, if you will, you know. But the only difference is, which I love, is you get two shots instead of with just one. Like for any title except the league championship. And it is you got to run the gauntlet. It's a real tournament, all in one day.
And I've been to a couple of those medallion tournaments, and they are daunting. So whoever wins the medallion has to go through a lot of people in order to get it. Now, isn't it true too that if the first cash in is unsuccessful, then the medallion holder loses the medallion and another tournament begins. Am I
Yes,
correct
yes,
in that?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't lose, so I forgot about that.
So it is definitely one of the most unique aspects of IPW is that medallion. Now, Corey, you're going to be facing Nick Diamond, who is a previous junior heavyweight champion, someone you beat for that title, but also you're going up against Muggsy James, who also held that championship that you have showing right now.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to both of these opponents, how are you preparing for both Nick Diamond and Muggsy James?
So these are actually two guys I have history with, two guys I've worked with. Like you said, I beat Nick Diamond for this. I already got my game plan for him. And Muggsy is a bit of a curveball, but with Muggsy, I just know it's gonna be a fight. And I love a good fight. So Muggsy, I'm ready. Nick Diamond, like I said, I beat him. I know what it takes. I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to alter the game plan, but I'm ready for anything he got. And plus I got the extra motivation. My titles are on the line. I love being champion. I think Rion, aren't I the first person to hold two single titles at once? So we already might have made history already. But
That
like,
is correct. That is
see,
correct.
see, like I said, I'm making history. I want to keep it that way. And to me, being like a double champion is like I love it because I love the fact that I do get to defend both titles. I love that it's like that extra element that it makes me step my game up every match. So, like I said, I'm ready. I'm in the gym every day. I'm training nonstop. I'm ready. And I'm hot right now. I don't know if you know what's going on in the wrestling scene, but I'm on a roll. Like I'm hot and it's not stopping.
You are certainly everywhere and very much in demand and making impacts wherever you go. Now, Corey, before we get to the predictions for this match, uh, do you have any messages for both of your opponents
What
leading
is
into this match?
what's the thing Nick Diamond always says? Nobody outshines Diamond.
He does say that.
Do you believe it?
Not quite. He's kind of a Karen. He's a bit of a Karen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Neil. I mean Nick. Sorry, Nick. Not Neil. He hates that. And like I said, for Nick Diamond, I know what he's bringing. I got a lot of respect for Nick Diamond. I'm actually looking forward to running it again with him. And Muggsy, as crazy as he is, Muggsy, he's like family. So, but one thing about Muggsy is I know he's gonna bring a fight, and I love to fight. So, like I said, I'm ready for anything they got. I'm ready. I just hope they're ready for me. I just.
Now, Whiplash. How do you see this match playing out?
Well, for me, I definitely don't see this match being an easy one for him. I know he got through Nick Diamond to get this title, but it's not going to be an easy match, especially with the three of them in there. I know he's got confidence. He's going in there with a lot of that. You can hear that he can hear that in his voice, and you can hear the pride he's got holding those two belts. But it's definitely not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be a challenge. But I don't know. I feel he can keep the titles to this. He's got a game plan. Been able to get past Nick Diamond before, and I think he'll be able to keep it up against Muggsy as well. So I'm kind I'm on his side for this one. So if I was a betting man, I'd be putting it all on the money.
Now, Rion, you're very familiar with all three of these men. How do you see this match playing out? Who comes out with all the gold?
I don't. This is one of the matches that I can't call. Simply because uh, the guys that you have in that match are very talented. All three of them have been junior heavyweight champions. Nick Diamond is currently one half tag champions. He's also been a medallion holder, so he knows what it takes to pull through stuff. Uh, Muggsy was the one that was able to beat Nick Diamond for the first championship that he had. So there's a lot of weird history there. It's a toss up, and this is not to disrespect Mr. McHenry, but because of him being so hot right now, as far as going out and being successful in other spots, the only thing I could say that may go against him is fatigue. And I know that he's on the line with us right now, but I'm being realistic because it's one thing as far as you being high, it's another thing as far as being burned out because of it. And hopefully, he is able to, so I guess, keep the fire lit, so to speak, and pull through accordingly. Uh, it's a toss up for me. I mean, I would like it. Any answer that I give will be a great one, but for the sake of this call, so I don't have to deal with it later, I'm going to say McHenry. Uh, but it's literally a toss up. Like any one of those guys could could very well come out with both championships.
And for me, Nick Diamond, he is someone who will do whatever it takes to win. Muggsy James, I have been on the wrong side of Muggsy James unintentionally after a
He
DDT.
punched you in the face. He punched you in the face.
He did. He
Let's
did.
just call it what it is. He punched you in the
Punched
face.
you in the face.
I got punched in the face by Muggsy James.
What'd you do?
I tried to give him a high five.
Oh yeah, you don't like those.
He was not a fan of that. So I've been on the wrong side of Muggsy James, but overall, we get along. It was just kind of a weird moment. He seemed a little dazed and confused at that point after taking a DDT onto, I believe, your belt, Corey. I could be wrong on that. It is a little foggy because I was punched in the face and was out for a few seconds, but that's neither here nor there. With that
It's
all being said, I have to give the edge to Corey right now, knowing that he is, in fact, on a roll wherever he goes. And I trust my gut telling me that that roll is going to continue past Sunday. And
and
he'll
of
have
course,
both of those belts when all is said and done.
my pick is for me, obviously.
Maybe a little
Like,
biased.
like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, me, because me. I can't say anything other than me. Yeah. Plus, but I know the thing I'm looking forward to it though. Honestly, it's been like I've been really excited about this match since it got announced. Like I've been excited. Like it's going to be a battle, and that's what I want. Like I love a good fight, so I've been really excited about this.
As you should be. And the fans will be very, very excited for this next match we're going to talk about. And it is one of multiple open challenges that are going to take place on this show. Because we have Jay Thunder having an open challenge for his IPW League Championship. Now, Jay Thunder, Rocket Pro fans may have seen him before in the IPW showcase in November, which was his first title defense in a four-corner scramble. But at the November IPW show, Damian Gray made it very clear that he had every intention to get the league championship back. Now, guys, it's very hard to say who will answer the open challenge to the league championship. But what are the odds that Damian Gray pulls double duty and goes for his rematch for a title he held for over a year?
You think he gonna have that type of energy left after Rion?
I mean, anything is possible. It is
I don't. I
professional
don't.
wrestling.
I don't see it being. I don't know. I don't see it being him.
Who do you see it being then? Who do you think will challenge for that league championship?
See, this is the thing about IPW that I love so much. Could literally be anybody. And that's why I feel like this match is the ultimate test for a champion because it could literally be anybody, and you have to be prepared for literally anybody. And I do believe Jay Thunder is prepared for anybody. You talk about me being hot, that man is the summer heat. Okay, I'm telling you. Like, if it's gonna be, it doesn't matter. It's, Jay Thunder. I know we didn't get to that part, but like again, IPW, it could literally be anybody. You never know who's gonna walk through that curtain. You never know. So, like I said, I won't go Damian Gray. Like I said, it could be anybody. It could be somebody from RPW. It could even be you, Pax. So you know, like,
No comment.
see.
Whiplash, I'm sure you've seen Jay Thunder. How do you see Jay Thunder preparing for this open challenge?
Well, with the fact of how Jay Thunder was able to get that belt and hold that right now, it it took a lot of determination, a lot of grit to get that. But the thing is, when you have an open challenge like this, like like McHenry was saying, he's like you don't know who's gonna come through the curtain. It's like there you put out that open challenge, you say I'm open, come and try to take this belt from me. You could get anybody. Like you mentioned Damian Gray doing double duty. You never know. He might want that title back so bad that he's willing to risk it and try to get out there for that. But when you have it as anybody from IPW, anybody from Rocket Pro, it's like who's gonna show up? Who's gonna surprise? Just like with last year, with me ended up in the ring. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting to be wrestling last year. You don't know who's going to show up. Just so you know, it's not going to be me. I'm not challenging him because I don't need my ass handed to me. So it's not going to happen.
That's what somebody who's gonna do it would say.
Yeah.
Ah.
Trying to swerve us already. Okay.
Got my eye on you, Whip.
But if I had to pick one person, it would be Steve Michaels. I would love to see that match. That is just a personal thing I would love to see.
Man, that would be a good match.
That is
RPW champion versus the IPW champion.
that would just be a match I personally would love to see. That would be a man.
Yeah. I'd have to take a front row seat for that one.
I mean, Steve Michaels has made his presence felt at IPW and defended the title multiple times last summer at IPW. It's very possible. Maybe he wants to try to walk into his match with BOW at Kicks on 66 with another strap with some gold on it. You never know. You never know. But we also have another open challenge. As DJ Khaled would say, another one.
Another one.
Because D'Angelo Steele, coming off of his successful defense against J.R. Lindsay and DP3 of the Workhorses, will be defending his C3 Ultimate Championship in another open challenge. Here's the one thing that I will say about D'Angelo Steele. I've been doing commentary for Rocket Pro in the IPW showcases for a few months now. I'm very, very familiar with the IPW talent. I try to go to as many shows as I can. And D'Angelo Steele always talks about and to Rachel. We have never seen Rachel. But at spring break, D'Angelo Steele came out with Rachel. And I must say that caught me so off guard because I just always thought that Rachel was a figment of his imagination. But there she was.
Like the imaginary Canadian girlfriend.
Exactly. Exactly. So Rachel is real. We got to let that sink in a second. All right, the sink has been let in. Who do you think is going to be able to get around the fact that Rachel exists? Who is going to, because here's the thing. D'Angelo was talking a lot to Rachel at ringside at Rocket Pro. She's guided him to so many successes. She's in his ear, and regardless of who may go against D'Angelo Steele, I think Steele will retain his C3 Ultimate Championship. Whiplash.
Hmm. My thought with all these is going back to the way it was, and with the last one, these are all a toss up. You just don't know who's going to be there, who's going to pull that swerve, just like he pulled the swerve with bringing Rachel out and kind of threw you for a loop. Who's going to come out and throw him for a loop and get him off his game? Because somebody's going to come out and is just he's not going to be ready for it, not going to be prepared, and possibly like just take that strap from him. You never know. In my past time, I had a match. We had a show. We called it Unknown. We had no idea who we were wrestling until the person was announced. So every single match was like an open challenge. We did not know who we were wrestling. We could not be prepared. So as long, when you're ready and you know who you're facing, you can prepare. You can watch their matches. Get some counter moves ready. When you don't know, what are you gonna come up with? You gotta think on the fly, and they could trip them up and just take that belt. You never know what could happen. It's all up in the air.
Cash Money.
Okay, so as a person who's been in there with Steel, I think we forgot to mention one thing, like he's how mentally unstable he is. Um,
He's
so
always got a wild look in his eye.
getting in there with a guy like that, like no matter who, like you're never really prepared for him. So it's like whoever comes out there, they're pretty much on equal footing. But again, a champion who issues an open champion is a different type of champion who knows he's ready, he's prepared, and
Yeah.
he's ready to go all the way. I actually got to go with Steel on this one. Like whoever comes out there, I got to go with Steel.
Rion,
It's yeah.
do you think that wild side of D'Angelo Steele is going to take him to the top and help him retain his C3 Ultimate Wrestling Championship?
Uh, so I was curious how you're going to handle three open challenges. I was curious how you're going to try to talk about three open challenges
It's tricky.
just as a whole. It is tricky. I see you're trying to navigate it. I was unsure how you were going to go about it, but we're here now. Uh, if if I have a choice as far as wait, you know what was the question again? Because I want to make sure I got this right. What was the question? Say the question again.
Whoever is facing D'Angelo Steele, are
Uh-huh.
they going to be prepared for the very mentally unstable side of Steele that has brought him a lot of success at IPW?
No, because you still got Rachel out there. And it's one thing if it's a figment of his imagination. It's another thing if it's a physical manifestation of something. You can't like just that alone. Because I watched that showcase, and I'm telling you, seeing Rachel come out there in the middle of everything, the workhorses couldn't even handle it themselves. So just the idea of Rachel being a real person, the fact that we're even talking about Rachel is ridiculous in itself. But it's fine. It is totally okay. Uh, I am just going to look at it from a standpoint of anything and anyone can be Rachel based on how D'Angelo Steele projects himself or projects Rachel onto other things. At one point, it was the belt. Now you have Rachel in the corner. Like it could be literally anyone, anywhere, anytime. And one day he can just get mad at Rachel and start beating the crap out of her. Now, I don't want that to happen, but it could very much be a thing. That's something you have to I guess not look forward to, but it's something that could very well take place. Uh, so yeah, that is my I guess my look or take on things. I'm curious how you're going to navigate this third one. Let's see how you handle the next
All right. So, speaking of the next one, let's go to the next one. It will be for the Wrestle League Championship. And defending the title will be the new Wrestle League champion, Humek. Humek won the Wrestle League Championship at the anniversary show last month in Homewood. And here's a little interesting. I like to speculate on this show anytime we have a match like this. But let's talk. So let's talk about what Humek has been doing in IPW, and that's been causing chaos with Reprisal. Now, Humek has had his eyes firmly set on Joey Dalton, a former Second City champion. And he's a former Second City champion because Humek got involved with Joey Dalton's last title defense, costing him the match and the title, which is now held by Marcelo Spade. And I've seen Humek, I've heard of his work. I know he had some great feuds in Anarchy Pro back in the day. I have not gotten to see him until IPW, but the man is a monster. He is absolutely physically imposing, devastating, a complete powerhouse. The last IPW show I was at, I thought he broke Joey Dalton's neck with his very just it's hard for me to describe his finisher. Whoever is going to answer this call is going to have to protect their neck. I'd say that's safe to say, but Joey Dalton may want himself a piece of Humek. Joey Dalton's also part of Wrestle League. Maybe Joey Dalton wants that championship. You take my title, I take your title. Cash Money,
Yes, sir.
you're familiar with Joey Dalton.
Yes, I am.
Uh, do you think he could answer this open challenge?
Um, yes, I do. Because I knowing Joey, he's still thinking about what Hugh Mack did, but but he also was very familiar with Hugh Mack, with them both being lead guys. So it's a very good possibility. I think.
Whiplash?
What I was doing is during that whole time, I was cut because I haven't actually had the opportunity to see Humek yet in person. So I was actually just YouTubing over here and watching some videos and like, yeah, that is a scary man. That is a monster of a human being. I'm
I,
not.
so I got to. So Hugh Mack issued the open challenge, right?
I believe. Rion, can you
So
confirm that?
yeah. So
I believe so.
so
Yeah.
if he issued the open challenge, then he's hoping that Joey Dalton answers because he's using his open challenge because he's a monster, like you said. He's just using this as a way to maul somebody, and he wants it to be Joey Dalton because I'm familiar with both of them being lead guys, and it's like I feel like maybe Hugh Mack is hoping Dalton is the one who answers the challenge because he wants to finish what he started.
And the one thing, regardless of who is going to answer this open challenge, Reprisal will likely not be too far behind. So there is a definite clear X factor in this open challenge when it comes to Reprisal doing their best to stand behind their guy.
I don't think he needs him. You seen him? like,
I mean,
like
he
Hey, yeah, he's a wild man, but that is Kingpin. That is Albert Fisk. I'm telling you, dude, like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, a
like
complete beast. I do not envy whoever answers that open challenge. They will definitely be feeling a lot of pain, regardless of the result after that match. I'd say that is a pretty safe bet you can lock in on DraftKings. Last but not least, we will have Rocket Pro Wrestling action at IPW when the Zero Gravity Championship is defended in a 15-man eliminator match. Now let's explain what the rules of this were. Every 90 seconds, somebody will be called into the match. The way to eliminate opponents is by pinfall and submissions. There will be disqualifications in this. If you throw somebody over the top rope, that will result in a disqualification. However, you are able to do pinfalls inside and outside of the ring. And as we all know in IPW, this could get very, very interesting because if you pay attention during some of the shows, a lot of action does boil outside and around the VFW. And you can see it through the windows. It's so it could there could be pinfalls that happen outside. It's very possible. You never know. But we have some uh, names announced for this. Obviously, Aaron Stone will be part of this. So, Aaron Stone, this man is the first ever IPW League champion. Held that gold 2 times. He's also the first ever junior heavyweight champion who held that gold 2 times. He will now have to defend the RPW Zero Gravity Championship. And here's an interesting wrinkle with this whole match. One of the other participants in this match will be Shaq Jordan. Shaq Jordan will be facing Steve Arrant at Kicks on 66. And who is the referee of that match? Well, none other than Rocket Pro Wrestling Zero Gravity champion, Aaron Stone. So they'll be competing against each other on Sunday. Aaron Stone will be refereeing a match Shaq is competing in the following Saturday. So Shaq may be looking to make a statement and send a message to the referee of his match against main event Steve. We also have Chris Classic. Chris Classic made his case in a promo noting some history that is shared between him and Aaron Stone. And Chris Classic noted that he has been victorious against Aaron Stone in the past. But we also have a couple of new names coming into the fold for all of this. We have Tez Cash Carter. Now, I've done my homework. I always like to do my research, especially when there's new names coming into whatever company I'm talking about. The one thing I can say, this is a man that likes to throw caution to the wind with some high flying offense, but he also has his share of technical ability. And some of the same thing can be said for the other participant in this match who will be coming into IPW potential, I believe, for the very first time. James Fury. James Fury has been wrestling since 2022, and he's already made a big impact. Has wrestled in GCW and has wrestled in the NWA. This is a man that, when I watched footage of his match, he's very, very confident in his abilities in the ring. And he can back it up with a great deal of technical prowess, but also he's not afraid to brawl a little bit. And then we have Christian Torrejon. Christian, you may have seen him before as a referee in a lot of different places between Rocket Pro, IPW, Super Wrestlers, Wrestle League, but he has recently transitioned to becoming an in-ring competitor. And I must say, I've watched quite a few of his matches, and he's certainly a formidable wrestler within the ranks of the IPW roster. And that's just a few of the names. Now, I want everybody to keep in mind there are going to be 15 people in this match. There are going to be people that there are people that have not even been announced yet.
I have to stop you right there. It's actually 16.
Is it 16?
It will be 16. There are 15 people that are going to be participants that are going to have the opportunity for the title. That is not including Aaron Stone. So there will actually be 16.
Thank you for clarifying that. Now, Rian, will there be how many more names will be because I've been noticing on social media IPW has been releasing names of the participants almost every day this week as we are recording. Will the fans be
That
able
is
to
correct.
will the fans be able to see some more of these participants before the show?
I can actually drop some of them now.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
Uh,
exclusive.
we're
Okay.
getting an exclusive here.
as a matter of fact, I can drop 5 of them
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
now, and then they will be released. Uh, well, I'm not sure when this gets uh, posted, but they will be released shortly thereafter as far as the actual recording of this. So I can take care of that now. Give me 1 second.
And while Rion is getting the information to liaise to the fine listeners of this podcast, um, with the names that have been announced, how are we thinking this is going to go before we even know some of the other competitors?
This is going to be an amazing match. Stone
J.R.
already.
Lindsay, the king of controversy,
Oh, that guy.
he'll be there.
No, when this match started getting announced, and I was looking at all of it. I actually reached out to Rhea and I was like, "Can you explain this match more to me?" And when he was giving me that explanation that you were talking about earlier with the pinfalls and submissions and and disqualifications around the table and all that, and all these people in participation, or participating, I was like, "This is gonna spill out everywhere. This is gonna be wild. This is gonna be crazy." So. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be one to watch. I hope nobody misses this one.
We got Chuck Taylor.
Okay.
Rion, tell us a little bit about Chuck Taylor. What should the fans know about Chuck Taylor?
Uh, Unfortunately, he is fairly new to the game. Uh, so I'm curious as far as how this is going to go about. Uh, he has been in training with uh, ARW Pro. Uh, it's fairly new, so this will be interesting to see how he is literally being thrown into the fire. So this will be interesting to see how he plays with everyone else, so to speak. Uh, I wish I had more, but this is something that was brought to me. I'm just letting you know that we all have the same information when it comes to Chuck Taylor. So we are going to see how this plays.
So we will see how Chuck Taylor will fare into the proceedings, but it will be interesting because the man that was announced previously, J.R. Lindsay, has had a bit of a shift within IPW lately. And really quickly, Drew Bronson will also be participating. Recently had a match with Marche Rocket in IPW and has been making his presence felt in other companies such as ARW Pro. And he has recently returned to Wrestle League teaming with Muggsy James at the anniversary show. Cash Money, I mean, you're familiar with Drew Bronson, and this there's been a definite attitude change with Drew. He's certainly somebody who has a lot to prove. How do you think he's gonna fare stepping up to Aaron Stone?
Well, if there's a guy you want to go in there and prove yourself against, that's the guy to do it against. I mean, like you said, you gave us all the history at IPW alone. That's not even mentioning what he's done at RPW. This is a real test, and we'll see if he got what it takes. But I got it. Stone is it's a different breed.
And Rockin' Rivera also
Oh,
joining the proceedings.
okay. That's
I mean, Rockin' Rivera, for a good chunk of last year, spent a lot of time going after Kid Lat in an attempt to win a contract with IPW.
destroying that kid.
Hmm.
Poor Kid Lat.
Poor kid.
I want to support him in a way, and this is where I introduced the sponsor of this episode: 1877 Cars for Kid Lat. Be his hero today. I won't have a jingle because the jingle for the thing I'm parodying is kind of annoying. But again, that's besides the point. And we got Tad Bro of the big leagues.
Yeah, dude.
And we've seen a different side of Tad Bro as of late, joining the ranks of the big leagues, where he's there with Chad Bro, Motivation Mike, and certainly their big leagues are not going to be too far behind Tad Bro. Corey McHenry, you have seen the big leagues tear it up in IPW, but you have not had any run-ins with the big leagues. I think you would agree with me that it's pretty safe to say that the big leagues won't be too far behind Tad Bro.
Honestly, like even though he may have aligned himself with different group of people these days, he goes about things a different way. But Ted bro ain't no slouch. Like he can get the job done. It's like he's deceptive, and I've had run-ins with him in other places outside of IPW, and he'll surprise you in there. But again, like you said, the way the big league operates, Motivation Mike will be somewhere close. And, Tad, bro, don't go too far without Chad, bro. But, again, they're still outnumbered. Like, I don't believe nobody in that match is going to let the big leagues take an opportunity away from them.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. It's very hard to say who could be possibly walking into Kicks on 66 as the Zero Gravity champion. Will it be Aaron Stone? Will it be Shaq Jordan? Will we see a name come into Rocket Pro like J.R. Lindsay? Will it be Tadbro? Will it be Christian?
Yeah, right
So
now
that
my vote is still for Stone.
Whiplash, with the names that have been announced so far, who's your favorite to win this match?
I don't know. I'm thinking through these names. I'm looking at the ones Rion just announced, which some of them were like quite shocking to see. I mean, especially seeing like a newcomer like Chuck Taylor getting thrown into the mix like that. And I don't know, people like Lindsay and Rivera, those are some wild cards that kind of jumped out at me. But this one's going to come down to endurance. Just like with like any kind of like battle royal or like even McHenry's match where he's got the three in there. It's an endurance factor for this one. So it's who's ever been training and ready to go that long is going to be it. So this one I can't call on this one. I can't.
Rion, of these 16 competitors that is going to be in this match, who do you think has the edge? or if you're in AEW, the Cope.
Uh, can't give you an answer because there's still 5 names out there that haven't been announced.
So stay tuned.
What about you, Pax? Who you got?
So this is where I have a lot of conflict. I mean, we have Aaron Stone, who's been very, very dominant in IPW, in Rocket Pro. I mean, we're talking about a former RPW champion. We're talking about a former Outer Limits champion, and we're talking about the current Zero Gravity champion. Now, where as I'm thinking about this match, the one person that keeps coming into my head is Shaq Jordan. Especially with what is going to happen later on in the week at Kicks on 66. Shaq is going to be very motivated to try to get in the head of the referee. And I feel like Shaq might take the Zero Gravity Championship from Stone.
Okay, that was a
The,
surprising answer.
the bold call.
See, I
I
don't know. I can't go against Stone. He a fellow West Sider. We built different. Like, see, Red will tell you that. Like, we built different. I don't know. I gotta.
So, but we'll see how this is all going to play out when IPW returns Sunday, April 27th at the VFW Post 311 in Richton Park at 22341 Governor's Highway. Doors are going to open for this event at 3 p.m. Bell time is going to start at 4. General admission for this show, it's going to be $15. And if you are a kid 10 and under, first of all, why are you watching our content? We're a little bit edgy. But if you are a kid 10 and under, just know you only have to pay $10 to get in the door. And it's all going for a good cause. Think of the children. Why won't somebody think of the children? We're going to be supporting the Homer Heat baseball team as they're getting ready to start their 2025 campaign. They have a great coach in Whiplash, and hopefully the funds that'll be raised will go towards helping make the season so memorable for these kids.
Well, speaking of that, if you don't mind me interrupting for a second,
By all means.
there's actually something that we've announced to the kids. We've actually had a couple of games, so we had to announce it early. But there is something they are vying for, just like all these titles we keep hearing about. There is the Homer Heat Player of the Season title that they are going for. So these kids are going to be able to rock some gold when they come to the Mets, when they become MVPs. They get the title, and whoever from our season has the best stats and has been the MVP the most times is going to take this belt home, and they're going to own it for the rest of their life.
That's
no
awesome.
doubt.
I love that. And it's a beautiful, beautiful.
The Homer Heat title.
Can they defend it?
so, so the kids get to earn this belt.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool. Gentlemen, before we go, any final thoughts about IPW Spring Heat?
I'm glad to be back.
It is good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of this. I'm happy that we're going to have so many exciting matches for the show, and I hope everyone comes out to see it. It's going to be an exciting night, lot of action, and like we talked about before, it's going to be all over the place and it's going to be crazy. So can't wait to see everybody there.
Rion, any final thoughts from you as we close the tab on this episode?
Nope. I just want to get it done and over with.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get it done and over with. Thank you all for joining. Make sure you make your way to Richton Park April 27th. And as always, stay lovely, stay intoxicated.